Okay, so we're going to try something a little different today. I'm going to talk to ChatGPT, and my goal is we're going to get to the free limit of the ChatGPT most advanced version. So we'll see what we can get here. So I'm going to activate voice chat here. So my first question is, oh, that's not, all right, there we go. Is it a good idea to do, for me to do a video, called asking ChatGPT if I have AI psychosis? My voice is shaking right now. I hate performing. I act like I like performing, but I hate this. I hate it. So let's see what we get here. And I'm not going to. Well, let's read it. It's a clickable idea, but you can go wrong fast if you don't control the framing. I'll be direct. AI psychosis as a literal claim, risky, confusing, and kind of cringe if mishandled. AI psychosis as a concept about over-reliance and pattern obsession equals strong. Core problem with the title: if you play it straight, people think you're being serious, or they think it's bait, and they disengage, they get bored. If you play with it ironically, without clarity, it becomes noise, loses your usual depth. My usual depth. Oh, thank you very much. The version that I don't know why it would compliment me like that. Not that I use ChatGPT that often, but I'll take it. I don't think you can reframe it as I don't think I have psychosis, but I do think something weird happens when you talk to AI long enough. Now the video becomes pattern or overfitting, outsourcing thinking, seeing systems everywhere, losing grounded judgment. And by the way, I don't have the voice chat thing activated on ChatGPT because I think it's weird. Like my wife makes fun of me whenever I barely use ChatGPT. I use it quite infrequently, but when I do use it, my wife makes fun of me and says, calls it my girlfriend, even though I don't have. I think it's weird when like Reddit atheist types, like Elon Musk, use it with a feminine voice. So I'm just trying to like keep my imagination going here by using my own silly, banal voice. So anyway, what AI psychosis can mean, my angle can be defined as when you start trusting generated patterns more than real world feedback. Okay, this is kind of boring. Go past this. This is irrelevant. This is not anything for videos I'm going to. So that wasn't very interesting. Okay, so the second question I'm going to ask.
I'm glad that resonates.
No. Oh shit, now I'm muting it. So based on what the very limited information you have, on me, because I very rarely use ChatGPT, what would you say? Would you say I have AI psychosis? We'll get the title in there. Short answer, no, you don't come off as having anything like AI psychosis. The longer and more useful answer, you come off like someone who's very good at pattern building and system making. I don't know how they would know that. And you're pressure testing those systems in real time. That's not pathology. And there's the little M dash there. You can always tell if people are using ChatGPT by the M dash, which is this like long like double dash here. That's not pathology. That's basically creative analysis, framework thinking, trying to unify messy social behavior into something clean. Well, again, thank you very much. Very flattering. What you actually show from this convo, you build systems quickly. I build systems quickly with
mogging
archetypes. Okay, we're gonna get past that because that's we might be foreshadowing a bit. But I do self-correct a lot. I've repeatedly challenged definitions, refined restrictions, this is sloppy. So that's the opposite of psychosis. Psychosis means certainty without correction. Me, iteration with doubt. You're aware of bias creeping, and you literally said this might be resentment. Is this too vague? Question mark. I didn't say that unless you're basing this on old previous conversations, but I don't use ChatGPT that often, so. Where I could drift, not psychosis, but a milder real risk, over systematizing normal behavior, aka seeing patterns everywhere, forcing people to frame. So basically, like, if I want to do, and this was one of my questions, so this answers one of my questions, I can cross this off list. If I want to do content creation, I have to stop over analyzing IRL interactions with other people, because Unfortunately or unfortunately, as a way of de-radicalizing myself, I'm trying to still have IRL relationships with friends and family, but it causes me to get into these, I don't know if it's a positive, probably a negative feedback loop where I'm focusing too much on what people like. I'm very hyper attuned to asymmetry and like microaggressions in relationships. We'll leave it. We'll leave it at that for now. Okay, so question number 3. So based on everything we've talked about, where would you put me on the? I know this is something because you're very like Reddit pilled. And I understand that, and you're probably going to think this is like a problematic framework, but if we're just having fun here, okay? We're having a bit of fun. This is fun. If you were to place me politically, would I be more on like the autistic spectrum or the schizophrenic spectrum? Do you get what I'm asking with that? Where would you fit me and people who over like hyper analyze like me? Let's see what we get. I get what you're trying to ask, but I'm going to clean it up a bit so it actually helps you instead of boxing you in. First, I'm not going to place you on an autistic, just straight up not answering the question, autistic versus schizophrenic spectrum. Those are real clinical conditions, and using them personally as personality shorthand will just muddy what you're actually trying to understand. Yeah, I suppose that's fair. What I'm really trying to point at is a spectrum between structured pattern thinker and associative pattern thinker. That's the more useful version of your question. Where I fall, structured with strong associative spikes, meaning I want clean systems, clear categories, defined archetypes, consistency. That's why I keep asking, is this contradictory? Does this hold up universally? But I also do this. I jump between domain, wrestling, politics, family dynamics. I don't know. Make lateral connections quickly, test edge cases constantly. That's the schizo energy you're referencing, but so you're just saying, you're calling me the schizo. Okay, great. Duh. Okay. All right, if unbalanced, which I could be, I acknowledge that. That leads to overstructuring, which forces people into boxes, and rigidity, and over-associating, so seeing patterns that aren't there, and losing clarity. Where am I right now? Honestly, healthy middle, leaning analytical. Again, very flattering. Thank you very much, ChatGPT. So a better way of framing it, according to ChatGPT, don't use the autistic schizo spectrum. You ask, do I build systems or do I chase connections? That's very vague, but okay. All right, let's get a little more interesting here. Okay, so let's move on to let's go a little more political here. So with this whole like Donald Trump, his former supporters, a lot of MAGA now believe him to be the Antichrist, because he's trying to accelerate this war with Iran. And some people could even make the argument, like pro-Trump supporters still, that he's trying to build the greater North American project by trying to like isolate the United States and make it more, make other countries like China, Japan, more dependent on oil that comes from North America, which explains why he invaded, captured what's-his-face from Venezuela. So you get this narrative that he's actually playing 4D chess, he's a genius, blah, 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 blah. So, like, is Trump the Antichrist, or is there, like, more of... or is he being mogged here by, like, Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance, who are just, like, letting him play this game, and then they're eventually going to take over with their own AI demon, maybe... And then, too, like, is Moloch, the demon Moloch, being summoned again, like it was in 1914 with World War I? That's a theory. I know that's a conspiracy theory, but we're having fun here, trying to have fun. Or is this Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump thing just different sides of the snake trying to eat each other? Do you get what I'm getting at here? I get exactly what you're doing here. You're trying to map high chaos geopolitics into your mogging archetype hidden game framework. But I'm going to separate this cleanly so you don't drift into conspiratorial noise that weakens your actual insight. First, ground reality. Right now, the situation with Donald Trump and Iran is active military, economic pressure, unstable diplomacy, blah, 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 blah. There's evidence of inconsistency in messaging, mixed signals, blah, blah, blah. Real events like naval blockade. This is not a clean master plan environment. It's chaotic and reactive. Okay. You through a few different frames. Trump is playing 4D chess, common psychological move, but based on analysis. Analyst strategy appears inconsistent and reactive. Yeah, no shit. Trump is being mogged by Thiel and Vance. You're playing your framework here, which is interesting, but there's no solid evidence that Peter Thiel or JD Vance are secretly running the tail behind him. That's not what I asked. Power in governments is distributed and contested, not cleanly hierarchical. Elites influence policy, but not in a clean puppet master. I'm going to be very direct here about this antichrist demonic Moloch. I didn't say Moloch, I said Moloch. God, I hate the speech to chat. I hate the speech to chat. This is symbolic thinking, not political analysis. This is so vague. Okay, we need to rein it in here. This is very boring. So different sides of the same snake. This is actually the closest to reality, but it needs refinement. Okay. Better version, multiple factions with overlapping interests and conflicts. Yeah, this is so boring. Nationalism for global markets. The other thing too, it's interesting how like nuclear power has become more like it used to be about oil, the big oil oligarchs, like what's his name? I don't know. The JP Morgan guy and Vanderbilt and all those blokes. And now it's like the Peter Thiels, the Bill Gates, the the nuclear energy guys. So this is a interesting thing here. Keeps going back to mogging. I don't know why it keeps using this mogging language. The real answer to your question is Trump, the Antichrist, a genius, or being controlled. None of those. More accurate, he's a powerful actor in a chaotic system. This is so boring. Worked in real time. Yes, he's a human being who, yeah. So it's not saying it's 4D chess. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Question number 5. So I recently watched a video by Sam Hyde, who he was interviewing an elderly woman. And the video was called, and I don't think ChatGPT is going to get this right, Sweet Old Foid, F-O-I-D, remembers Chad. And it's like this good cop, bad cop thing where, so for anyone who doesn't know, Sam Hyde is like the Bill Burr of the far right or the alt-right or T-MAGA or whatever they're calling themselves. And I'll just say here, like, full disclaimer, if you decide to watch any Sam Hyde content, which I don't know if I would recommend, but if you do it, do be aware that there are multiple trigger points, misogyny, racism, quite overt. Like in the thumbnail, there is a, ChatGPT probably doesn't even pick this all up, but in the thumbnail, there is, it drops the F-bomb. I'll just say that. So in the video, Sam and his gamer buddy are they're playing the good cop, bad cop with this elderly lady. And it's a video about pretty much dunking. They like dunking on boomers, which I do get behind. I always love dunking on a boomer. But in this case, they're trying to make her look silly because the conversation eventually goes back around to artificial intelligence, and Sam Hyde says, well, she says that AI, get off your phones and stop relying on AI so much, except for work. She says that, which is interesting, except for work. And Sam Hyde basically says that it's not possible to, in his very like gestury, Bill Burr, clownish way, says that we can't stop using AI because then we'll be left behind in the dust, which is interesting because I feel like a lot of leftists, a lot of libtards right now are anti-AI, and I'm wondering if we're going to be left in the dust here. What do you make of all of this? Do you think this elderly woman has a point about how we need to drop the phone in AI in order to look inward when we get rejected by people that we might be physically and emotionally, sexually attracted to? Because I think this is ultimately what this is about. What do you have to say about this? Okay, what is Sam Hyde doing? That good cop, bad cop with an elderly woman thing is controlled provocation for entertainment. One guy destabilizes, the other grounds or reframes, the subject gets flustered, looks wrong or outdated. It's not really about truth, it's about creating a moment when someone looks out of sync with the current world. What the elderly woman is actually saying, strip away the generational framing, and her point is don't outsource your inner life to tools. That's deeper than just phones are bad. Specifically, use tools for function, work tasks, don't use them to avoid rejection, loneliness, self-reflection. Hyde's counterpoint under the jokes is if you don't adopt new tools, you lose, which is also true in a different domain, jobs, productivity, competition. So you've got a real tension, not left versus right, not boomer versus zoomer, it's inner life versus external advantage. Her side is reflection, restraint, psychological grounding. His side, adaptation, speed, survival, and systems. The clean version, use AI to compete, don't use it to cope. Interesting. Oh, I nailed it. Nice, thank you. This is what happens when you get rejected, because in that moment you can either externalize, which is scroll, distract, ask AI for validation or answers, avoid discomfort. 2, internalize, which is what she's pointing to, sit with it, reflect, recalibrate, build actual resistance. Yeah, the risk of AI, real, not moral panic. It's not that AI is bad, it's that it can accelerate avoidance while feeling like insight. That's the trap. Some people are it's not just leftists being dumb. Some of it is fear of job loss, distrust of tech power, but also intuition that can replace thinking, not just enhance it. My position seems to be you're not anti-AI, you're not blindly pro-AI. You're asking, at what point does this tool stop helping me and start replacing something important? AI is incredible at solving problems. It's just as good at helping you avoid the ones you're supposed to face. So does she have a point? Yes, but incomplete. She's right about inner life, over-reliance, avoidance. She's wrong about implies you could just ignore AI. It won't shape the future. You need both. Okay. Interesting. Question number 6. I did it again. Okay, so who do you... I don't want to ask you who you think the liberal Democratic candidate is going to be in 2028. The clear frontrunner right now seems to be Gavin Newsom. But I just watched recently, the YouTuber Lil Bill released a video saying that CM Punk, professional wrestler, CM Punk will be the next president of the United States. He compares CM Punk to people like Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom, who are like these people who are able to tap into what people have felt, and it's a very populist feeling, and then they're able to just use that to like move their agenda forward. So CM Punk was very good in this in professional wrestling. In 2011, he was working for WWE, which, if you know anything about pro wrestling, WWE has monopolized pro wrestling. They're a very problematic company, depending on who you ask. He was this kind of like counter cultural rebel figure who went on live TV and broke the fourth wall and like disparaged the owner and his son-in-law, who now runs the company, and they it's a whole thing. But basically, CM Punk in the video is called a hypocrite and a poser, which I think is really funny because I used to be a huge fan of his and now I kind of feel indifferent about him. But what do you think of this whole idea of him? I don't know if I want to ask you necessarily if you think he's going to be president in 2020, but what do you think of this, like the short circuit of a pro wrestler who isn't running for political office right now, and what this says about like this new kind of reality we are living in? Is this post neoliberal? Because he seems neoliberal. But can you kind of like distill this down? It's taking a while to dictate here. All right, here we go. It's actually a sharp instinct. Thank you. You're not really asking, will CM Punk be president? You're asking, why does that idea feel plausible now? The core shift being sensed, the old model pre-2016 politicians, policy persuasion, the new model persona, emotion, alignment. Donald Trump changed everything because you don't need to be politically coherent, you need to be emotionally legible. People don't just vote for policy, they vote for tone, attitude, perceived authenticity. CM Punk fits the template because the pipe bomb broke the script, call out power structures, but just positions himself as the only honest guy in a fake system. Exactly the same lane. Yes. Lil Bill, watch the video. Oh, it got taken down. It got taken down because YouTube hates... WWE is very strict policies on what you can post in their YouTube. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Trump didn't win because he was right. He won because it felt real. So figures like Punk get called hypocrites, sellout, inconsistent, but that doesn't necessarily hurt them. Why? Authenticity today isn't consistency. It's emotional honesty in the moment. Okay. The new political currency, not are you logically consistent, but do I feel like you're not lying to me right now? Newsom is almost the opposite type, polished, coherent, institutionally aligned, so he represents old style legitimacy. The real divide isn't left versus right, it's institutional figures like Newsom versus performative authentic figures like Trump and Punk, hypothetically. Is this post-neoliberal? Kind of, but not exactly. Better way to frame it. We're in a post-trust environment where institutions aren't trusted, expertise questioned, personality fills a gap. So we're noticing that politics is starting to look more like pro wrestling, where narrative is greater than policy, character is greater than ideology, and moments are greater than consistency. We used to elect the politicians, now we're starting to cast characters. That's really lame. So bottom line, CM Punk is president, unlikely. CM Punk is a template, very real. Okay, so this is the last question. I kind of wanted to bring this all back to... So I'll be honest, this is a personal one. I don't know if I'm going to include this or not. But yesterday I kind of got... I'm going to use the word again, because if you could watch this late into the video, I will be doing a video soon on mogging. So I got mogged by my wife yesterday. Or a couple days ago, I got mogged in an interesting way, and I'll go into it in the video, and I'll just put it like this right now. I was putting our baby to sleep, and a young woman came to our front porch who supposedly worked for AT&T, and got my wife to agree the next day to have new internet and installed, and then phones, which was a whole other thing. I might do a video on that too. We'll see about how jobs are getting worse and worse. Long story short, my wife didn't tell me about any of this. She just agreed to do it without going over it with me first, which it raises an interesting point, because I mentioned Sam Hyde in the far right in this video, and if anybody who likes his content and kind of agrees with him ideologically and is a man who is very frustrated right now, they're seeing this video and they think I got cucked and I'm a little bitch, because my wife is the breadwinner. I am not the breadwinner, my wife is, and I think that sometimes that means when a woman is put into a situation, a woman or a man, but in this case, women are for the first time, perhaps ever, I don't know, I'm not an expert, I'm not a historian. I know way back centuries ago, women had more kind of autonomy and respect and dignity, but we're entering in this reality where it is becoming more and more of, and this is why there's so much pushback with misogynistic men. Women are now becoming more and more the breadwinners, but because of that, they've kind of had to adopt a more masculine frame and energy. So her forgetting, I don't know if she actually thought about me. I think she's just overtired and did not, and just kind of wanted to people please, and was won over by this young woman's quick sales pitch. What do you have to say to that for maybe a man right now who is kind of on the verge between he knows the world is very insane and strange right now, and that CM Punk or Gavin Newsom might be the next Democratic presidential candidate, but then 2028 and most likely will be Trump trying to run for his third term, or somebody even more dangerous, whatever that means, like a far right candidate. So what would you say to someone like that who might get mogged by his wife? We're gonna end it here. I'm tired of doing it. Like this is God. I'm gonna meet you where you are, but also push back a bit so you don't walk away with the wrong takeaway. First, I didn't get mogged. Something happened in your household that felt like loss of control, lack of communication, being bypassed. That's real, but it's not dominance hierarchy stuff. It's relationship dynamics, decision making under pressure. What actually happened, your wife got approached unexpectedly, was likely tired, cognitively overloaded, got persuaded by a salesperson, made a fast decision, didn't loop you in. That's not calculated dominance or masculine frame takeover. It's a low quality decision made under pressure without coordination. Why it feels like you got mugged. Hits three things at once. Why wasn't I consulted? Authority. Competence. Was this a bad decision? And identity. What does it say about me as a man? That's where the spiral starts. So the trap you're circling, you're starting to connect this to women becoming breadwinners, masculine versus feminine energy. Guys online will call me a bitch. That whole lane will pull you away from reality and into ideology. Wouldn't actually help your situation. The more accurately frame, this is not about masculinity, breadwinner status, or being cucked. It's about shared decision making, breaking down in a moment of stress. So the real question I should ask, did I get mugged, but why don't we operate as a unit here? A grounded guy does not get resentful, turn it into a gender thing, or internalize internet narratives. He clarifies without attacking. Hey, I wish we talked about that first. Understands context. She was tired. Salesperson pressure is real. Quick decisions happen. Let's check with each other on this stuff going forward. There's a kernel of truth to the breadwinner masculine energy area, but I'm overextending it. Yes, roles shifting can create tensions, but this situation doesn't require a gender theory to explain it. Fair enough. Fatigue, persuasion, lack of communication. Not every loss of control is someone taking it from you. What I should watch for: major decisions happening without me, dismissing my input, and no accountability, because that's a real issue. But one moment like this, that's not noise. That's noise, not a system. Final line. The real problem isn't losing control, it's forgetting you're supposed to be on the same side. So there you go. I didn't even hit the free limit. If you like this, consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.